Keanu stood alone in the rain-soaked alley, the city's pulse fading to a faint murmur. A crumpled note clung to his fingers, its ink bleeding under the relentless downpour. Find the street. Save me. Marcus, his friend, had scrawled it, the last trace of a graffiti artist who'd chased a phantom and vanished. The forgotten street, a name hissed in dive bars and shadowed corners, was a place no map claimed, a devourer of souls. Dismissed as myth, it was real to Keanu. He'd seen Marcus's obsession, the fever in his eyes as he spoke of a street holding secrets no sane mind could grasp. Tonight, Keanu would face it, no matter the cost. He stepped forward, and reality shuddered. The alley stretched unnaturally, its brick walls curving like a night maze spine. Rain vanished, replaced by a silence so heavy it crushed his ribs. Keanu emerged onto a street that didn't belong. Cobblestones gleamed under a sky trap between dusk and dawn, neither night nor day. Buildings loomed, their windows black voids that drank light. The air reeked of old rain and metallic bite, blood or rust, he couldn't tell. His boots echoed, the only sound in a place that pulsed with life yet felt forsaken. His watch read 7:42 p.m. He'd check it again, and time would turn traitor. Shadows flickered at the street's edges, their forms wavering like ghosts in a storm. Keanu's hand rested on the knife in his belt. Quiet, sharp, his kind of weapon. "Marcus," he called, his voice swallowed by the oppressive hush. The shadows stirred, their gaze heavy. He pressed deeper, passing storefronts with signs and languages that writhed when he stared. A barber shop's pole spun too slowly, its stripes bleeding into gray. A diner held steaming plates, untouched, as if its patrons had fled mid-bite. Every detail screamed wrongness, a world sewn by a lunatic's thread. He paused at a newspaper stand, its pages yellowed, headlines screaming impossibilities. Moonfall silent. City mourns. Clocks stop at midnight. The dates were chaos, years unborn, other centuries past. Keanu's skin prickled. This street wasn't just hidden. It was unbound, a fracture in reality's fabric. He moved on, his resolve a shield against the creeping dread. A sudden gust carried a faint melody, discordant and haunting, like a piano played underwater. It led him to a derelict theater, its marquee blank but glowing faintly. Inside, the air was thick with dust and memory. Empty seats stretched into darkness, but the stage was lit, a single spotlight illuminating a figure painting a mural. It was Marcus, or 𝐬𝐵, his hands moving mechanically, spraying a phoenix onto a canvas that bled into the floor. "Marcus!" Keanu shouted, but the figure didn't turn. The mural pulsed, its colors seeping into the air, and the theater trembled. Keanu stepped back as the stage collapsed, revealing a tunnel beneath. The street was guiding him, or trapping him. He descended, the tunnel's walls slick with something that wasn't water. Murals lined the path, Marcus's work, each more frantic. A wolf, a serpent, a heart pierced by thorns. The air grew colder, the metallic scent stronger. At the tunnel's end, he found Marcus's sketchbook, pages torn, sketches bleeding into reality. One drawing showed Keanu himself, standing in this tunnel, a shadowed figure behind him. He spun, knife ready, but no one was there. Yet, the tunnel opened to a market square, stalls draped in tattered cloth. There was bazaar, clocks with no hands, mirrors reflecting nothing, books with pages of gibberish. A vendor's shadow lingered, too tall, too thin. "Stay," it hissed, its voice a needle in his mind. Keanu ignored it, but the air grew heavier, each step a battle against the street's pull. He found another mural, a wolf, its eyes glowing red, jaws open as if to swallow the world. The paint was fresher, the trail warmer. Deeper in, he stumbled into a courtyard where the ground was glass, reflecting a sky that wasn't there. Faces pressed against the surface from below. Hundreds, their mouths moving in silent pleas. Keanu's stomach turned, but he stepped carefully, avoiding their eyes. A voice, not Marcus's, whispered his name, soft and familiar, like a memory he couldn't place. He shook it off, focusing on the next mural. A serpent, its scales shimmering, coiling around a heart. Marcus was close. The trail ended at a plaza where cobblestones formed a spiral, pulling the eye to its heart. A cloaked figure stood there, its face hidden beneath a hood, the air around it crackling like a storm's edge. "You shouldn't be here," it said, its voice a chorus of whispers, slicing into Keanu's mind. "This street doesn't belong to your world." "Where's Marcus?" Keanu demanded, his voice ablaze despite the ice in his veins. The figure tilted its head, amused. "He's woven into the street now. Like the others. They seek truth, but truth here is ravenous." Keanu's grip tightened on his knife. "Take me to him." The figure's laugh was shattered glass. "You don't find the street, Keanu. It finds you, and it keeps what it claims." The plaza erupted. Shadows surged, their forms twisting into night maze, limbs too long, faces eyeless, mouths stretched in silent wails. Keanu fought like a tempest, his blade carving through ash and shadow. Each foe dissolved, but more rose, an endless tide. His watch spun wildly, time a meaningless blur. Blood pounded as he glimpsed Marcus at the plaza's edge, translucent, his eyes glowing unnaturally. "Keanu," Marcus rasped, his voice echoing in Keanu's skull. "You can't save me. The street, it's alive. It feeds on us." Keanu battled to his friend, dodging claws that weren't flesh, teeth glinting like obsidian. "I'm not leaving you," he growled, seizing Marcus's arm. It felt like fog, but he held on. The cloaked figure watched, unmoving, savoring the struggle. "You can't leave," it said. "The street rewrites you. Time is its ink." Keanu dragged Marcus toward an alley that flickered into existence. The street rebelled, cobblestones rippling, buildings bending to cage them. His watch shattered, glass cutting his wrist. Blood dripped, and the street drank it, the ground pulsing greedily. Memories flickered, his underscore. The alley twisted, its walls closing like jaws. Keanu pushed through, Marcus's form fading. He saw others trapped, a woman in a tattered dress, her eyes pleading, a man clawing at the air, screaming silently, a child clutching a broken toy, her face blank. The street was a prison, its prisoners fuel for its hunger. Keanu's resolve hardened. He'd tear this place apart. He stumbled into another courtyard, its edges blurred, the street rewriting itself. A fountain stood at its center, its water black and still, reflecting nothing. Marcus's voice grew fainter, his form flickering. "It's too late," he whispered. "The street owns me." Keanu refused to listen. He plunged his hand into the fountain, its water burning like acid, and pulled Marcus closer, willing him to stay solid. The street screamed, shaking the cobblestones, and the cloaked figure reappeared, its presence heavier. "You defy what cannot be defied," it said. "The street is eternal. You are not." Keanu spat blood, his voice raw. "Then why is it scared of me?" The figure faltered, and Keanu seized a moment. He dragged Marcus through another alley, the street's resistance frantic. Buildings collapsed into dust, only to reform ahead. The air thickened, choking, but Keanu's was iron. He saw his life in the shadows, loss, triumph, forgotten faces. The street was digging into him, unraveling his soul. He focused on Marcus, on his promise. Silence fell. They collapsed in a familiar alley, the city's hum returning like a lost friend. Keanu's chest heaved as he checked Marcus, solid but pale, his eyes haunted. "You pulled me out," Marcus whispered, disbelief in his voice. Keanu didn't speak. He glanced at the alley, now just brick and graffiti, no trace of the forgotten street. His wrist stung, the wound too clean, a mark of the street's touch. He helped Marcus to his feet, and they limped into the city's light. But the street lingered in Keanu's blood, a whisper he couldn't shake. It was out there, hiding in the city's folds, waiting. He'd escaped. But had he? Marcus was safe, but the street had tasted Keanu's blood, seen his defiance. As they walked away, he felt its call, a siren song in his veins. The forgotten street wasn't done with him, and deep down, he wasn't sure he was done with it.